Okay, Bismillah, we're looking at numerical reasoning, first past the post, short test 5, as we can see here. Right, here we go. Question number 1. It says that the result of a 100-meter race at a school sports day is shown below. There were 7 participants and the results of 5 are given. What was the range of times recorded above? Okay, in order for us to work out the range, we need to work out the largest value minus the smallest value. That's how we work out the range for number 1A. What is the largest value? Let's have Huzaifa. The largest value Huzaifa is? Okay, Huzaifa only.
16.2.
16.2. And let's have Iman. The smallest value is? 14.3. Okay, and the answer, if you minus them, gives us? 1.9. Okay, question 1B. What was the median time recorded above? To work out the median time, we need to put this in order of size and then work out the middle one. So the middle value, so once you order, can somebody order them for me first? Let's have some ordering. Well, give me the first number.
14.3.
14.3.
14.6. And then 15.
Hang on a second. 14.3 and then 14.6 and then
15.3.
and then 15.3 and then
15.6.
and then 15.6 and last but not least
16.2. And the median is 15.3.
Okay, so the median one is the
15.3.
median one is the middle value right in the middle. So got 2 data values here, 2 data values there, so that is the median. Lovely. Okay, that's 1A, that's 1B done. Let's look at 1C. What was the mean time of the results above? So to work out the mean, what do we do to work out the mean? Somebody give me the technique. Let's have Iman. To work out the mean, what do we do? Add up all the values, then divided by the number of values. So if you add up all these values here, and then divided by how many? So all the values add up to 76. And how many values do we have? 5. So 76 divided by 5 will give us a total of 15.2 seconds is the answer that is for C, the mean answer. Lovely. Okay. Question D. Ali was injured. So, okay, question 1D now. Question 1D says Ellie was injured, so complete the race in 20 seconds. What was her average speed? So speed is equal to distance divided by time. So what distance did she run?
She ran
100 meters, which is over here. And she ran over how much time did she run in? 20 seconds. So 100 divided by 20 is equal to 5 meters per second.
So that's 5.
So 5 is the answer. 5.0. Okay, that's done. What's E? John ran the race at the speed of 8 meters per second. How long did he take to complete the race? So let's have a look at that one. So 1 part E. So the speed is equal to the distance divided by the time. And we've been told that the distance is still, what's the distance still? 100 meters. The time, what is the time? We don't know the time. We've got to work out the time. Okay, what was the speed? The speed was 8 meters per second. So 100 divided by a number is equal to 8. What do we do? How do we work out the time? So we swap these two over, that's called cross multiplying. So opposite divided by T is? Opposite time by S is divided by S. So the time is then equal to the distance divided by the speed, which is equal to 100 divided by 8. And 100 divided by 8 is equal to 12.5 seconds. Okay, 12.5 seconds. And that's the end of question 1. Lovely. 1E. What is the size of angle X? Now, what do we know? We know the angles at a point on a straight line add up to 180. So these two must add up to 180. So angle 2A is going to be 180 minus the 122. That gives us an answer of 58 degrees is the answer for question 2A. Question 2B now. What is size of y? Y is over here. These are called vertically opposite angles. Opposite angles are always equal. So y is just simply equal to 63 degrees. Done. Okay. Next, 2C. What is the size of z? If we know x and we know 63, we can work out z. So z is equal to what? Equal to 180 degrees minus 63 degrees minus 58 degrees. So z is equal to 59 degrees. That is the answer for z. That will go here. Next question. 2D. 2D. Now they want us to go, the base of a triangle is 9.4, is vertical at 8.8. What is the area? Okay, let's have Faisal. Give me the formula for the area of a triangle. So area of a triangle is equal to base by the height divided by 2. So what is the calculation for the base? The base is 9.4 times it by the height, which is 8.8. And then we divide it by 2. So there's no particularly easy way of doing this calculation. I'm going to have to clear the page and show you how we set this out. Okay? So new page. Okay. So what do we have here, folks? We have 9.4 times by 8.8. Now, when we do 9.4 times by 8.8, what we do need to do, we need to count the number of decimal places in the question. So one place gives us
2 places.
So we have two decimal places in our question. That means we will have 2 decimal places in our answer. Lovely. So we go 1, 2. The decimal point goes here. We do not line up the decimal points from the question to the answer. Huzaifa, did you get this question right? 9.4 times by 8.8 divided by 2. Got it right?
Last one.
No, this is the question part D. Question 2D, what's the answer? Quite everybody else.
41.3.
Right, here we go. So first number, first digit, first line. So everything times by 8. 4 times by 8 is? Okay, 9 times by 8 is? 72 at 3 is? 5. What you put on the next line down? For a 0, up for a box with a 0. So, now, 4 times by 8 now is? Second digit in the second line, 4 times by 8. So it's the same number, isn't it? So it'll be 2, 5, and 7. Squeeze it in there. So now we need to add them up. 2 at nothing is? 2. 5 at 2 is? 7 at 5 is? 12. And 7 at 1 is? 8. Okay, so that gives you 82.72. We haven't finished yet, because this is the base down by the height. What do we do next? Divided by 2. So 82.72, we use the bus stop method. Divided by 2, put this point down there. So we say how many 2's go into 8 is? 4, 1, that'll be 3, remainder 1.
6.
So the answer should be 41.36. What's the units?
Centimeter squared.
Centimeter squared. That is the answer to question D, all of it. Times it, divided by 2, 41.36 centimeters squared. Question E, question 2E, what is the rotational symmetry for this triangle?
1.
And question 2E, if a shape has no rotational symmetry, it always has an order of 1, as Faisal pointed out. Every shape has an order of 1. If it has rotational symmetry, you'll have order of 2, 3, 4, and so on and so on. So that's the order of 1 because all the angles are all different. It's a scaling triangle. And that's the end of that question. Okay, that's lovely. Okay, question number 3, folks. Theo rolls 2 fair dice consecutively and records the results. What's the probability that both dice land on a 6? So let's have a look at the technique. I don't want the answer at the moment. I want the method, Faisal. So we have the probability of the first one landing on 6 and the probability of the second one landing on 6. So, probability of the first one landing on 6 is?
1/6.
And the second one?
1/6.
These are called independent events. They're not dependent. And what's and mean?
Times.
Times. And what's 1/6 times by 1/6? 1 over 36. Time the top, time the bottom. Job done. So the first answer is 1 over 36. Okay, that's 3A. What about 3B? Let's change color. 3B. What is the percentage chance that both dice land on an even number?
50%.
Now,
Ouch.
question number 3B. Okay, what's the probability of getting an even one on the first dice? How many even numbers do you have in the first one? 3 out of?
6.
3 out of 6. And what is the probability that you get even on the second one?
3 or 6.
3 out of? 6. And what does and mean?
Times.
Times. What's 3 out of 6 times by 3 out of 6?
Oh,
That'll give us
a quarter.
9 out of
36.
36, which cancels down to a quarter. The question goes, what is the percentage? So 1/4, haven't finished yet, as a percentage is equal to what?
25%.
Everybody knows that. That's nice. So 1/4 is equivalent to 25%. So we've got to work it out, change into percentage. Okay, that's lovely. That's question 3. Which was that? 3B done. And we need to clear the page. Question 3C. What is the probability that the sum of the numbers displayed on the 2 dice is 10? The sum. So for 3C, what we should do here, we should have a, what we call a possibility space diagram. So that's the numbers on the first dice. This is the one on the second dice. This will take us a few seconds to do. Okay, I'm going to pause it and draw the... Okay, now, question 3 says, what is the probability, the sum of the numbers, what is the probability that the sum of the numbers displayed on the 2 dice is 10? So we have to now look, where can we get a 10? Well, 1 and 1 doesn't give us, so we've got to add them up. Whoops, okay, let's get back onto the brushes. We'll add up these numbers, so where do we get 10? So 1 add any of these numbers doesn't give us a 10.
No.
2 add any of the numbers don't give us 10. 3 add nothing.
No.
What about 4 add 6?
Yes.
So you get 10 when you do 4 add 6. And 5 add 5. And okay, and 6 add 4. So how many possibilities do we get of getting a 10?
3
Only, hang on a second. We've got 3 probabilities
out of 5.
out of, hang on a second, you got 6 times by 6 is, you got 36 combinations altogether, out of which 3 are, so it's 3 out of 36,
1/12.
okay, and that will cancel down to 1/12. Divide that by 3, divide that by 3, so the final answer is 1/12. Is the probability of getting a sum of 10 when you add the 2 dice together. Lovely. Question 3D. What is the probability of part C occurring twice in a row? Probability of part C occurring twice in a row. So, okay, we just said the probability for, the answer for part C was what? 1 out of 12. And if it happens twice, what do you do to it? It's probability of that event and the sending in. So that'll give you a total probability of 1 over 144. Question 3D is done. Question 3E. Okay.
So what is it?
It's 1 over 144. Okay. Right. Okay. Right.
Next one's 1/12.
Okay. Next one, question 3E. If one die lands on a 2, what is likely was the other die landing on a 2 as well? So the probability of a 2 and the probability of a 2.
That's 1/12.
Okay. What's the probability? Now, it's saying here, if the probability goes, if one die lands on 2, what's likely the other die landing on 2 as well? So now, we're not looking at probability of 2 and 2, as in the previous questions. So question 3E, because both events are independent, because they don't depend on each other, so the probability of the second one landing on a 2 is the same as the first, which is, well, that's the final answer for that one, once it's done. Okay, folks, question 4. Jasmine and Greg both work at a newsagent's. The combined earnings per day are £77, which they earn in a ratio of 2 to 5. They both work 7 days per week. How much does Jasmine earn per day? Okay, now we know from this ratio here, the ratio of 2 to 5. So question A, 4A, that there's going to be 7 parts altogether. 2 and 5 is 7 parts. And we know that the Jasmine, she earns 2 of those parts. So she earns 2/7 of the total of 77. Half in mathematical means times. So 2 over 7 times by 77. Now when we deal with this, we can cancel it down. Divide that by 7, divide that by 7. So that gives us 2 times by 11 is 22 and over 1. Okay. So that will give us £22. So Jasmine earns £22 per day. That's question 4A. Question 4B. Question 4B says, how much does Greg earn per week? Okay, let's clear the page. So question 4B. So we said earlier that Jasmine, she earned £22 a day, and altogether we add Jasmine's and Greg's, must give you a total of £77. So we know straight away that Greg earned £55 to make the total of 77. So now, the question says, how much does Greg earn per week? Now we know that Greg works 7 days a week, so he earns £55 a day. And we multiply that by the 7 days a week, and that will give us a total of £385. Done. That's 4B. Okay. Question 4B is £385. Question 4C. Jasmine and Greg spend 20% of their combined weekly income on food. How much do they spend together on food, on the combined weekly income? Okay, now, we know that they both earn £77 a day together. And we multiply that by the 7. So that will give us a total of £539. That's for the week. That's how much all they earn in the week. Now we need to work out, as they say there, 20% of that. So 20% of 539. Now, when we work out 20% of 539, we first of all work out 10%. 10% of 539, put the decimal point in the end, divided by 10, which gives you 53.9. And to get 20%, we just add another 10%. Or we just times it by 2, whichever one you want to do. So 53.9 add 53.9 will give us the total that we need for that. So that'll give you 20%. 53.9 add 53.9 will give you 107 and 80 pence is the total. So for question 4C, answer is £107 and 80 pence. This is the answer. We shall highlight over here. £107 and 80 pence. Okay, lovely. Question 4D. Jasmine and Greg both receive a 5% rise in their wages. What are their combined earnings per day? So what we need to do, we need to work out 5% of their daily wages and then add it on. That's one of the quickest way of doing it. Otherwise, we go into the decimal multiply technique, which is more GCSE style and involves long multiplication. So we'll just do it the simpler way, 5% off. So to work out 5% of 77, I'm going to start with 10%, because 10% is nice and easy. We divide the 77 by 10, they get an answer of 7.7. Once I know what 10% is, I can quite easily go to 5% because 5% is half of 10%. So we divide it by 2. So 7.7, we divide that by 2. So 7.7 divided by 2. So how many 2s in 7 is 3. Remainder 1. 2s in 17, we've got 8. Remainder 1, 10. So that gives you 3.85. Okay, that gives us 3.85. That gives you 5%. So we now need to do, back to our original calculation, £77, add our 5%. So we're looking at these values here. Okay. And that should give us a total of, so question 4 part D. So that's 5, that's 8, that's 10, that's 80. So for question 4D, the answer is £80. 85 is the new value after 5% increase. That's the answer for question 4D, which goes over here. Question 4E. I don't think we'll fit it in. Let's start a new page. Okay, 4E. Question 4E. At the end of the year, Greg is promoted to assistant manager and receives a further 20% rise in his income. How much will he earn per week after his promotion? Okay. Okay, for this particular question, this question 4 is like a multi-layered question. If you look back at the answer for question 4 part B, we know that from 4 part B, the answer was that Greg earned £385 a week. Now, in part D, he received a 5% increase and then another 20% increase. So we have to start with, we got to add 5% onto the 385. Then after we've done that, we're going to add another 20% onto that. So this question has 2 parts to it. So let's work it out. So, okay. So 385 add 5%. Okay. 385 add 5% will give us, well, what's 10%? 10% of 385 is nice and straightforward. 10% of 385 is £38.50. That's 10%. Okay, as we said before, we're going to work out 5% of this first. 10% is £38.50. 5% is half of that, which is £19.25. So £19.25 can go here. Okay, that's, now we have to now increase it by another 20%. So let's work out the total first here. So that gives us 25. 5 by 9 is that 14. That'll give you 10. So after a 5% increase, it's gone to £404.25. Now we need to increase this value by 20%. So let's do that then. So 10% of this will be divided by 10. So that will be £40.425. And then about 20%, so add another one of those. Okay, so that's after a 5%, from there to there, 5% increase. And now we're going to add another 20% onto it. Add them up. So adding up these numbers here. So let's get a total for that. So the 5 10, 10, 5, 7, 9, another 10, 2, 4, we have 6, 10, 11. Okay, 4, 1 is 5. That's 8, and that's 5. So the answer of a 4-part is quite a bit of a long question, winded one. But the final answer is £485.10 is the answer for that question here. Question 4E, and that's question 4 done. Okay, question number 5 now. Question number 5 is looking at a percentage pie chart. This is quite popular on these CEM papers. The favorite ice cream flavors of 50 children are represented in the pie chart. Okay, so we have 50 children represented in a percentage pie chart. And the percentage pie chart is equivalent to 100%. So from that information alone, we should be able to work out that each child, so divide that by 50, divide that by 50, for example, to work out what it is. So each child is worth 2%, one child. So that's our key for understanding this question. So it goes, what percentage of children chose vanilla as their favorite ice cream flavor? So vanilla has got no number on it. But if we add up all these values here, minus from 100, we should get vanilla. So for question 5a, if we do 100% minus all the other percentages, so that will give us a total of 36% for 5a. Okay, question 5b now. How many children did not choose banana as their favorite flavor? Well, banana was chosen by 4%. So banana was chosen by 4%, and we know that one child is worth 2%. So that means the banana was chosen by 2 children, because 2% times by 2 is 4, and 1 times by 2 is 2. So banana was chosen by 2 children, and the question goes, how many did not choose banana? So it will be 50 is the total, minus the 2 that chose banana. That will give you 48 children that didn't choose banana. Question 5b is done. Question 5c. Okay, question 5c. Amir! I'm just finishing off in a few minutes to my video. I'm making a video. So everybody sit down quietly. Everybody sit down quietly. Okay, question 5c. What proportion of children chose chocolate as their favorite flavor? Question 5c. What proportion of children chose chocolate as their favorite flavor? So we have 26%. Okay, what proportion of children? So they want to know in terms of, okay. So we have 26 out of 100. 26% is 26 out of 100. And if we cancel 26% down, keep as a fraction, that gives us 13 over 50. So for question part C, what proportion? Proportion is like a fraction, is a decimal. So we start with the original percentage value, change it into a fraction, and cancel it down. And that gives us 5C. Okay. Okay, question 5D. Question 5D. What is the ratio of children who chose chocolate to children who chose mint? So we know chocolate, mint. Well, chocolate was 26%, and the mint was 22%. We can just leave them as percentage value and cancel them down. So we divide them both by the biggest number that we divide into, so we divide them by 2. So 26 divided by 2 will give us 13. 22 divided by 2 will give us 11. So the ratio is 13 to 11. We need to finish now, folks. Question 5E now. Question 5E. There are 150 children in a year group. Using the pie chart above, how many of them would you expect to have strawberry as their favorite ice cream flavor? So strawberry, we expect 12% of the new class, which is 150 children. So we're going to work out 12%. So 12% is going to be 12 over 100. If you change percentage into fraction, of means times. This is the traditional way of doing percentages. Let's cancel it down. So we divide the 100 by 50. That gives you 2. 150 by 50. That gives you 3. We divide the 2 by 2. That gives you 1. 12 by 2 gives you 6. So we do 6 times by 3. And that gives you 18 as the answer. Expect 18 students to have the strawberry as their favorite flavor. And that's the end of the test paper. Folks, I hope this has helped. Go out there and pass your 11 plus and drop me a line when you finish and let me know how you've already done. Thank you.